If the screen is cracked or the whole phone is dented, cracked, and broken, you're that person who needs to really learn how to take care of their shit. In this video, I'm gonna help you decide which iPhone you might wanna ask for this holiday, or you might wanna get for someone else. If you found this video by it being suggested, I do all things related to Apple, with no bull. The good, the bad, and well, the ugly. If that sounds like your style, please give this video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so when I post a new video, you won't miss it. Thank you. So I thought a little while how I was gonna break this down, and what I wanna do is for the easiest people first. If you're buying a new iPhone, one for someone else, or you're buying your first one, and price isn't a deciding factor, I would ask, what do you care most about? The camera, the battery, or is it something else? Then I would say the iPhone 14 or 14 Plus is a good start. For a more expanded camera, of course, you're gonna wanna look at the Pro line or the Pro Max. If you want a bigger phone or better battery, go ahead and get the Max. Now, with that being said, you wanna save $100? Go ahead and look at the iPhone 13 lineup. That would work just as fine. Most companies like T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T still have that full iPhone 13 lineup. Now, Apple only keeps the 13 and 13 mini around at a reduced price. No Pro, sadly. And I say sadly because personally, I'm more likely to buy it from Apple because I want Apple Care. Now, of course, I hope I never have to use it, but let's be completely honest. This thing goes everywhere, and if you're not a case or a screen protector person, well, Apple Care is probably the best thing you could get. Little to no hassle. The fees are straightforward for repairs or replacement. I just had my 13 Pro battery replaced for about 79 bucks just because I wanted to. Now, the guy at the Apple store wanted to make sure I knew that replacing the battery wasn't really needed, but once I said, yeah, I get that, I just wanted to replace it because I was keeping it for at least the next year, he was completely fine with doing it. Now, I left it there, and 2 hours later, it was done. I can't say that taking it to any wireless company would be so hassle-free or done that quick. Now, even if you didn't have an Apple store nearby to take it to, their mail-in service is just as easy. Maybe a little longer, but just as easy. Now, if that was a help to anyone, please go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. And while you're down there, if it really helped you, go ahead and hit subscribe. I got a lot more of these coming up. So now for what I'm guessing is probably a large portion of my audience. You have an iPhone currently, and you want or need to trade it in to reduce the cost of your next phone, because these things are not cheap. Do you need the latest and greatest? You might want it, but do you need it? Now, the same goes if you're buying it for someone else, unless they're that guy. You know, the one that has to have the latest and greatest. But at that point, do you really want to drop that dough on someone? I mean, if you really care about them, I guess, and it's not really my choice, it's you, so you do you. Now, if you're looking to upgrade from a 13, don't. The only thing you'll get with this phone is slightly better performance. Oh, and it has that island instead of a notch. Even if you trade in the 13, you're not gonna get a good price. If it's in good condition, you could sell it privately for more, but let's be honest, most people do not want to deal with that hassle. But it's an option, so I wanted to throw it out there. If the phone is slow, you gotta check and see how much storage is left. That's the easiest thing. If you used it all up on your current 13, well then maybe you wanna look for a used 13 with higher storage that might save you some serious cash. Hell, check with your wireless provider about trading in that particular 13 for one that has more storage. You'll be surprised you can save a lot more and kind of flip those things around. If the screen is cracked or the whole phone is dented, cracked, and broken, get it repaired, or you're that person who needs to really learn how to take care of their shit. And getting an iPhone 14, well, it's only gonna look like that a few months from now. Let's be honest. So find a used 13 or even a 12, save a bunch of money because let's be honest, you're gonna be back doing this a few months from now. You know who you are. Now, I'm not knocking the iPhone 14 lineup. It's got some improvements. And personally, I don't think it's leaps and bounds from last year or even the year before, but that takes me to my next group of people. If you're using an older iPhone, and I mean like way older, anything older than the iPhone 6S, well, it's time to upgrade. Apple stopped supporting those phones with no security updates or the ability to get iOS 16. For those who just don't care, that's the latest operating system for the phone. Now, it does have some pretty useful features. Now, I did do a video on that. I'll go ahead and leave the link in the description. Now, to be honest, I would go as far as adding the 7, the 8, and the 10 lineup to this list because they're the next ones on the chopping block, and if you updated to iOS 16 on these phones, your experience may not be the best. Now, if you have any of these phones, it's probably about time to upgrade. You definitely need to get something newer. Now, that doesn't mean you have to get an iPhone 14. I get it, they are a ton of money. Now, Apple still sells the iPhone 12, as well as, like I mentioned earlier, the 13 and 13 mini. Buying with the wireless company does have those lineups expanded if you want to take a look. Just make sure you ask questions, and if you aren't sure what to ask, go ahead and leave me a comment down below. I'd be more than happy to walk you through it. For those who have a budget or a little more frugal with their money, and you're willing to settle for something a little bit older, I'd say starting with the 11 lineup is pretty good for you. For those who know about Apple, I did skip the 10S and 10R year, only because I really didn't think they were that great. I mean, they're right after the iPhone 10 and things were still kind of in that learning stages. And to be completely honest with you, they're right behind that other group on the chopping block. To get any kind of long-term usage, that's not really the best option. Now, I use swappa.com for most of my used devices because you are protected from fraud and can return stuff. Now, I also look on amazon.com as well. Absolutely awesome for buying things and returning it if you don't like it. I do want to offer some important advice when it comes to buying older iPhones. Now, if you saw my nightmare video on my iPhone 11 with replacing the screen and battery, it really opened up my eyes to the hassle of doing it yourself. In short, getting repairs outside of Apple does offer some challenges, and I'm not saying can, it does. If you end up buying a used iPhone 11, the battery could be an issue, and that really sucks because you have to go through Apple to get a proper repair. And if it's not in your budget, well, another $100 to $200 might not be the best choice. I just want to be honest with you and let you know all the good and the bad. Now, if you have a budget for an iPhone 14 and that's what you want, well, then go for it. You just have to decide which one you want depending on your needs. Some of the popular ones, like I mentioned earlier, camera or battery. The 3 camera lenses, new updated dynamic island, and other features are only available on the Pro line. Now, if you need help deciding which one you want to get, go ahead and leave a comment down below. I would love to help you make an educated decision. Of course, on your way down there, give me a thumbs up if you think I'm helping you out. Now, if you want to check out the video where I tried to repair my own iPhone 11, that is right there. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications so you won't miss my next video. You have a good day.